Actually, this clock's a little slow, and my iPhone is saying it's 7, so that means I think I can officially call this meeting to order. This is a meeting of the Ortonville Village Council, January 26, 7 p.m. at the Old Town Hall. The meeting has been called to order. I would like us all to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and I would like to ask Township Treasurer Dana DePalma to lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dana, that was the best of the whole year.
You can come every month.
Right. You now have that position if as long as you choose to.
You already know.
Let's see. Roll call, please.
Faulkner.
Here.
Hayden.
Here.
Green.
Here.
Brooks.
Here?
And Nivelt absent with notice.
And I am here as well. So.
Quisenberry.
Quisenberry here, yes. Thank you. We have an agenda in front of us. It has 14 items on it, and I would like to ask for the agenda to be approved at this time.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Support. Okay, we have an agenda. It's moved and supported, and those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, this is the agenda we will be working with for this evening. Introduction of new Oakland County Sheriff's Office Station Commander. That would be Mr. DeVita, or I should say Lieutenant?
Yes, sir.
Lieutenant, good to know. I, of course, have years and years of experience with the Sheriff's Department. I have known Jeff for countless years, and I'm just so happy that, and it was really nice to have Greg Glover here, who I knew from high school as well. So the transition now is that that Lieutenant DeVita takes over this substation, and I couldn't be more happy about it. So I would like to introduce Jeff DeVita, or Lieutenant DeVita, to all the board members here, and I'm sure that we will work together in a cooperative effort from here on out. The village is really, really happy to have you on board.
I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
And real quick, if I could, this is Sergeant Mike Ramelis. He's new too, so he came over with me at the same time.
Oh, great.
Welcome.
You'll see both of our faces new around the area.
Could you ask him to come on up here?
Yeah, come on up here.
You don't get to hide in the back anymore. Okay? You're now front and center, and the village is gonna just be really, really anxious and excited to work with you guys on all of our all the things we've got going on here. So, man, oh man, welcome aboard.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Happy to be here.
Could you repeat his name for me, please, Mike?
Ramelis.
Ramelis, thank you.
Or my iPhone says Ramelis.
Well, we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Jeff, what do you got? 810 contracted guys and the school liaison and some others, or
Yes, sir.
detective and
Yeah, there's 13 total.
13 total?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's a nice staff, and we're happy to support you.
Thank you.
That's
Yep, again,
that's
we're
the
happy
best
to
we
be
can
here.
do.
Thank you. Yeah, nice seeing you again. Yes, sir, sure. Thank you.
Yes,
sir. Larry, right?
No, we'll be working.
Have to go, I know.
Won't
forget you.
No, you will not.
Sure.
You will not.
All right, how are you?
Hey, nice to meet you.
Okay, I
Okay.
can't remember everyone's name.
Nice to meet you. Yes, you as well. Nice to meet you.
All right, well, we'll let you be and carry on with your meeting.
All right.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks.
Keep
Nice
doing
meeting you.
serve.
Thanks.
Have a great night.
Thank you.
And we'll be in touch.
Sounds good. Take care.
Okay.
Thank you.
That does take care of the introduction of the new Oakland County Sheriff's Office Substation Commander that we will be working with in our village for years to come. Next up is item 6, is approval of council minutes, and in our packets are the village regular meetings from November the 24th and also from January 12th. Those are in our packets, and they need to be accepted as council minutes.
Make a motion to approve the village council regular meeting minutes of November 24th, 2025 as presented.
Support?
Okay, moved and supported to approve the minutes. This would make this would make those minutes official part of the village records and record-keeping process. And with that in mind, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the motion carries and the minutes are accepted. We also have number 7, which is acceptance items. These are things, special. I just said that one.
Yeah, but we did them
Okay,
separately.
let's, we approved November 24th. Let's approve the minutes from January 12th. There are 2 items on here. I did them both as one, but they should be separate.
Make a motion to approve the village council special meeting of January 12th, 2026, as presented.
Support?
Moved and supported for the special meeting minutes of January 12th, 2026. Those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, that takes us past this onto acceptance items. These are things that the village comes across in the normal course of business, like planning commission minutes and treasurer report and zoning board of appeals minutes that we don't necessarily have a part of creating. However, we do accept them from the municipalities or from the councils that present them to us. So those are acceptance items, and all we really do is just say, hey, we're going to accept them. They're part of the village record, but yet we can't speak to the content of them because none of us were actually there at the time. But nonetheless, we will accept them, and I suggest that the council would accept those items. And we do. We just accepted them. Approval of disbursements. This is where the village spends every month. We get our bills that come in, and we have to pay them. And those are called disbursements. And we used to go half a month to half a month, but we recently switched to the whole calendar month as being items for disbursements. Does anyone have a question about the disbursements that we've made this month?
Don't we need a motion before we discuss?
Yeah, let's have the motion, then we'll discuss. Somebody wants to accept it.
I'll make a motion to approve the disbursements for this month,
For November? We're going to do them separate?
for November 2025.
Support?
Okay, moved and supported. Now those will become part of a discussion that we can have now on the November disbursements.
Yeah, I had a couple questions on the disbursements. The first one was the check number 23076. And then the description says Matt Ryan reimbursement for granite. What is that? Because it's, what granite?
It was supposed to be a surprise art installation, so it's a piece of art that's going to be put in, but now we're waiting for Mr. Campbell, the county preservation architect, to give us some input on its installation this week.
Okay, and why is that check made out to you? Why didn't you?
Because I went and bought it with cash out of my pocket, so.
I would much prefer if expenses were not purchased personally and then ask for reimbursement, would be better if the village just paid directly.
Sure.
Also, the other one was the 1117 for Whitey's, and it says team lunch and training. I was just curious, who presented that and what was the training for this?
That was Pete and Amber. It was all the office staff. So we were talking about the new, we covered the new ESTR requirements. We covered, gosh, I'm sorry, it's been a couple months now, so I'm trying to remember what all the discussion was. Yeah, let me get back to you with my notes on that. I don't remember more than that. I remember it was ESTA and time card issues that we were training about, and we were talking about the plan for the 88 or so driveways that people have talked about wanting to do, and how we were going to, I guess, assist in that as far as organizing that. So we just had a number of things to cover. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I have one. It's 11.5. It's 23,373 for Tri-County equipment. I guess. What is that about?
Yeah, so the John Deere tractor is the tractor we use. We use it primarily to plow out the sidewalks when the guys are able to do that. It had a, gosh, I could go into detail about it if I could remember the whole thing, but basically there was a problem that was inside a welded box that's a John Deere issue, and they had to break into the welded box in order to repair the problem, and it was back and forth, and they probably had our tractor for about 6 weeks. And at the end of the day, it ended up being almost $7,000 of work to that tractor. Bob
That was
and I
for a repair.
followed up on it. It's a repair, yeah. We followed up on it 3 or 4 times as to whether it was worth to keep going down that line, to price out a new one, and it just still made sense. The tractor's pretty new and still worth a fair amount, so.
Okay, any further discussion on the disbursements ending 11/30/25? No further discussion. The motion, did the motion contain the amount that was being dispersed?
I don't believe so.
No,
I'm sorry?
no, it
Okay.
did not.
We should probably reestablish that motion with the amount that we're distributing. And I'm not really sure if it's the 43 on page 3.
Total, 123, 123.
I guess I thought that was what it was.
It would be the 123, 102.32 minus the 83.59.58 in the DDA column. Because
Well,
that
we
was
still pay.
Yeah,
the
we
total.
do there.
correct.
So we have to pay the total amount of bills.
Yep.
That's what.
Even if it's
Y- y-
reimbursed.
Yes. Yes. So yes, we pay out that amount. The DDA reimburses
Yeah.
that. So
So we
I'm not
have
sure
to
which way
approve
you're
paying out,
approving.
we have to approve paying out that
The
amount,
full.
and then we will be reimbursed by the.
Then I amend my motion to include the amount of $123,102.32.
And I support the amended motion.
Okay.
Or-
Motion's been amended, and I will now,
I have a question.
oh,
I know
we're
it's
going
too
back to
late. I know.
discussion? Go
I'm
right
sorry.
ahead.
I'm sorry. No, I just have a question because normally we do not approve the payroll amount. Is that a reason that we're
We
changing
started
to that?
probably 4 months ago, 5 months ago, including payroll. So because
In the amount we approve in disbursements?
we were including it as an overall expenditure because the question was, when you look at the revenue and expenditure report and as a variance from the disbursement report, it was the preference of council at that time to get all the numbers in both, so you're looking at them and comparing them. and
Okay,
seeing,
I did
oh,
not notice that in
match.
any other ones, so, okay.
Yeah, I would say, I can't pick the month off the top of my head, but we started doing that maybe in September.
Shame on me.
roll call vote for the disbursements for period ending 11/30.
Brooks,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Hayden,
Yes.
Faulkner, Quisenberry.
Yes. All right. We have expenditures for, that end in December 31st of 2025, and that's a different disbursement report. And just so anybody here is in the audience that wants to know, the reason we have 2 tonight is because our meeting in December was between Christmas and New Year's, and we canceled that meeting because there wasn't enough official business, even one called. Therefore, we do end up with 2 months of expenditures now that we're going to approve. So this is the second half of our expenditures. This is for the period ending 12/31/25, and we can move along with that.
Make a motion to approve our December 2025 disbursements in the amount of $74,001.38.
Support?
Okay, moved and supported, and this can now be open for discussion if anybody has a question on this particular disbursement.
Yeah, I did have a question about the, first the 3 ones under the debit card for Meyer, Target, Menards. And it looks like they will all say Christmas decorations, and that was like $1,161. And I was wondering, what Christmas decorations did we need to go out and get, and where did those go?
Most of those were exterior decorations for the tree, for around the tree, for the tree lighting ceremony. There was concern brought to me by a couple of council members that it was not going to be enough and that we needed to decorate significantly more. And so we purchased some decorations for that. I'm trying to think if there was anything that was not exterior. I'm confident in saying it was.
Okay, so it was primarily
exterior.
for the Christmas and Village tree lighting.
Correct. About the same that we spent last year on exterior. Now we're at a point where we've got quite a bit of decoration for that event, and that's not something we'll be spending other than maybe an item or two. But
I mean, I decorate quite a bit, but that's a lot for me.
yeah. The exterior, I mean, the commercial exterior it does tend to be expensive, but I can get you a breakdown, the receipts of exactly.
No,
what we
that's
purchased.
okay. I was just wondering why it seemed like a little bit high.
Yeah, we bought lights for the tractor for the parade. I do remember that. We bought a fair amount of lights for that. We bought a nice LED set of lights to do the outside of town hall and down. We didn't end up getting those up, but we do have those for next year. Well, for all the future years now. So that was I think that was about $300 for that set. But that was invested in knowing that would be a long-term decor piece and probably a year-round decor piece, because it's they're very popular now in homes. They can be changed throughout the year. They're recessed and they hide in, so you don't know they're there until they light up. So we can do red, white, and blue for summer holidays or whatever that turns out to be.
Oh yeah, I just put a set of these lights on my house in place of the old-fashioned shingle panels.
Yeah.
Those are nice. Okay. Let's see. I think that was the question I had.
Okay. Thanks very much, Alex. Or anybody else have any other questions about this particular motion? If not, I can do a roll call vote.
Green,
Yes.
Faulkner,
Yes.
Hayden,
Yes.
Brooks,
Yes.
Quisenberry.
Yes. That takes care of the bills for the end of 2026, all the way through till the first of the year.
As a point of clarification, if I can ask, I think that Trustee Brooks brought up a good point, and I think it would probably be more helpful for you if I were to put the dollar amount of actual disbursements being approved, not including payroll. I think that makes sense, and that's a change I would recommend we make moving forward if this council's amenable to that idea, so that you have the dollar amount of actual disbursements.
No, that would be helpful, but I also want to see the other as well.
Yeah, right, and
if
so
we
if
can
you
have
see
both
that
of
line
them,
down there where you have.
I'm interested in the payroll.
Right.
Right.
And interesting in seeing what we're spending out in employee costs.
But I'm imagining it having the check total line, then the debit total line, then a disbursement total
Well,
line, and then
If
payroll.
you can think of a better way to revise this form, that's
Yeah.
fine. I would be happy with that. I think the other council members would be happy with it as well. Because we
That
did,
makes more sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it fits with what we've been doing historically.
right, for many, many, many years. But to still see the employment, or the employee costs, I think is something we all like to see.
Yeah.
All good on that? Okay, way to go. Next up, public comments. This is where anybody who came to this public meeting tonight, we already did that. We just,
Revenue expenditure.
thought that's what we just voted on.
Change of disbursements.
Yeah, disbursements
Disbursements
for the second one.
No, this is November, that's December, this is a different
We
source.
did November, this is the
No,
new
this is
one.
December. And then we got the new one. B is
No, we
different.
just,
Well, I'm going to have to ask, did we vote on the expenditures for ending December 31st?
We did not vote
Matt
for
just mentioned that these probably should have been included under the acceptance items.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly where they should be. Yep, that's where they should be.
Missed that when we put the agenda together.
Yep, that's why, yeah, they should have been under acceptance. He's right.
Okay.
Do we need a motion, or do we
No,
just?
If it's disbursements, we need to,
Oh, this is
no,
just.
this is not.
okay, then we don't.
all right.
That's good. That now does lead us to public comments, of which anybody who shows up at tonight's meeting has the ability to speak to this council, and this is the time when that would occur. What I would like to do is, does look like there's a rather large group here, so I can just take people one at a time. Mr. MacArthur, I see you stood up. I'm sorry, but I will get to you next, and I'll get to you after that. But please come on up.
I jumped up quick because
Yeah.
Jen, you're good.
and it probably doesn't have anything to do with what other people have.
Yeah, and Bob, I know that we all know you quite well and have for years, but...
Robert MacArthur. I am chairman of the Ortonville Planning Commission. And I just want to pass along, I made an attempt to, I don't know if you've seen in your minutes of Planning Commission, I made an attempt to relinquish my position as chairman and to get somebody else on the board to do that. There was one interested person and found out that he's an employee of the village, so he couldn't take the position, and the balance of the board was, nobody was interested. So and with that, I want to pass along why, some of the issues, or why I didn't. And are you guarding me on the 5 minutes?
Bob, you have an open floor.
Okay, we have since like somewhere around August, we have been working on ordinances. The short-term occupancy, the A, B, and B, we wrote that, we approved it, and to be sent to the council. And as far as I know, that hasn't happened. And again, this is part of why the chairman of the planning commission should be following up on these and working closer with the manager to ensure these things are going. And I'll explain a little bit of why I didn't. The second one was the snow ordinance, the snow removal one. That was written and approved by the planning commission, and that one did hit your meeting, and you denied it. It was turned down. Again, not knowing why, didn't get sent back to us. There was no indication of what was wrong with it, and I'm obviously there was something wrong.
It was supposed to come back to you.
The minutes didn't indicate that. So, and then the other one is the marijuana ordinance. We worked hard on that one. I thought for sure, I delayed that a little bit because I thought for sure we would get a direction from the planning commission on, did you want to leave it 2, 1, or 0? So we could write the ordinance to indicate that. Well, it sounded like there was a decision split with all of that. So we sat down and wrote the ordinance. We wrote it for occupancy of 1 is what we wrote it for, which allows the council to go with, to leave it as 2, as it's written, or accept the one that's 1, which would eliminate any occupancies of marijuana up at the Granger Road and South Street mess. That one was designed to do that, so it could only be the one that would be on, what I think it is, 252 South Street, M15. And then if you wanted it 0, that's a no-brainer. Just call your attorney and say, we don't want it. Just eliminate it and get rid of it. But again, we have taken, several of us on the planning commission have taken it not so much personal, but we've worked hard in knowing of concern that somebody was going to be able to take over one of those businesses up there at Granger and South Street, which would be, I feel, would be disastrous. Might help if there was a roundabout there, but but it wouldn't be good to have those 2 businesses. Don't make no difference what type. Those businesses at that exact corner side by side. And so we took it to heart of trying to come up with something that you would, if you wanted to have it, it's fine. We provided that in the ordinance to do that. And I was a bit disappointed that it wasn't on the agenda tonight. I mean, I did speak with Matt, back sometime in the month. It went in and had a discussion on it and felt that it should go to it either had to go to the attorney or to you, and then the attorney. And to tell you the truth, I don't know for sure where that ended up. But that's part of my problem with being chairman. It requires somebody to follow these things up and to ensure and working of getting these things accomplished and not leaving them there. There's 3 good ordinances dangling out there that have been worked on by committees. We worked through the holiday to get that marijuana one done. There's several of us that don't take pay to be on the planning commission. So we do take it a bit personal. We like to see these things move through and get done. That's it.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you very much. And thanks for all the time and effort you put into the village and our issues. Next, I think, was over here.
Jerry Stiles, Brandon resident and manager of Oxford Community Television. I had the pleasure of meeting with Kay and Alex last week, and I just want to reiterate, I spoke with Alex about what we would cover. I think I left out that we would also do interviews with officials around here. If there's any pressing issues going on, we could cover that. You have a terrific farmers market. Alex and I talked about that. I would love to interview all the farmers and figure out how they can make their business run. We cover all the businesses. I just wanted to reiterate that, and thank you both for coming to the studio. If anybody wants to come to our studio, please feel free. We're there Monday through Thursday. We would cover anything extra as long as it's not going to cost OCTV any money, and this, what has been presented to you, should cover us.
Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And I know that the people that have spoken with her already appreciate it. We have another speaker. Thank you.
Jack Britton.
Jack?
I'm glad I was third because I saw the other 2 people share some concerns, but I don't see a response. In other words, there's no answer to what's been brought up. And I thought, it shouldn't be that way. I know you say you accept comments, but I don't get a response other than this. And Matt, you brought up about lighting. I've asked probably for 2 years anyways about the electronic lighting for the speed control on Mill Street. I used to get a response. I used to get, yeah, we recognize that, but nobody does anything about it. So I'm asking in front of these people, are you going to do anything about that? And I don't know who to direct that to other than all of you.
Right now, you're directing it to the board, and we're 6 members here, and that's who we're conversing.
Oh, good. Then I'm speaking to the right people.
You are talking to the right people, the people who pull all the strings.
Okay. Is anything going to be done about it? That's what I'm just trying to get a simple yes or a no, because I know you've heard me before, and I get heads that do this, but no one speaks regarding it.
Well, I can tell you my personal opinion, and that's that this electronic speed thing is going to make people go slower. It really.
I have to. Do you live on Mill Street?
I just tend to think that the studies show that isn't going to correct.
I never. You know, I'm glad that you brought up a study because no one's ever responded to me, ever.
Okay. Well, it's very, very expensive, and it's questionable as whether it's effective or not. That's the biggest thing that I would say. I'd spend 20 times that amount of money if I thought that everybody would now just drive 23 miles an hour. It won't correct that.
You know, I remember the last lieutenant even recommending that that would be beneficial because it made people, but he was wrong, I guess.
It's debatable, but I can say this. As a sheriff's department lieutenant in Clarkston, I went through neighborhood to neighborhood to neighborhood with people with speed issues. And it turned out every single time that we took an effort like you're mentioning, and we had cops out there writing tickets day and night, and they would come back a week later and say, please get the heck out of our neighborhood. Everybody who's getting a speeding ticket is a resident. And they just said, please don't come here anymore. We'll deal with somebody going 5 or 10 over. What we won't deal with is every one of the citizens getting a speeding ticket that costs them $150, because it can happen to any of us. So what we really need to do as a community is put a lot of effort into changing people's habits about speed. But the idea of an electronic billboard that says how fast you're going doesn't necessarily solve the problem.
Do you have a study that you said you read? Okay, I'd like to see that.
I will, and it's from the state police because they're the ones who do these studies, because county sheriff doesn't. But when they do these evaluations on gravel roads out in rural areas where it's...
We're just talking about...
Okay, but I'm just talking about how the state police guides us and helps us make better decisions, and one of them is the speed signs. And that one that blinked up here and said you're going too fast, I don't have any problem with it. We had one. But it broke down, and the repairs are extremely expensive. And our maintenance guy, Bob Hoxwell, is the one that has researched this extensively. And he's the one that's come up with the idea that, hey, you know what, if we can find a cheaper way to do this, we will. We will do it because it's important to us. We want everybody in this village to go by the speed limits.
Define extremely expensive.
That's okay. Sorry, we can't have this kind of a discussion, but that's my answer to you. We will get back with you, and I will let you know the studies. But if you think that an electronic speed thing is going to all of a sudden solve the speed problems here, that's not.
Geez, Glover was a pretty experienced...
Yeah, he's my buddy. I went to high school with him.
That's okay. I'm glad that you knew him very well, and he responded that they do work.
Okay, well, then I'll get Lieutenant Glover to come back here and tell you the studies that he's looked at.
That'll work.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I'll know.
Okay, next up, sir. Oh, over here. Thank you.
Ken, can I just say one thing?
Yes, you may.
In all of our training and everything, they have said during public comments, we are to listen, not speak. Write it down, work on it, whatever needs to be done. But that's why we're not answering.
My name's Julie Britton.
I'm sorry?
Julie Britton, yeah, 310 Mill Street. I want to respond, something my husband said. They're all over Clarkston, Groveland Township, so they do catch people. No one's going to stop the speeding totally. We get that. But it does make people pay attention. And unless anyone lives on Mill Street, but Larry, they know how people fly down there. I'm sitting here to this meeting. We come periodically. And I have to admit, while I appreciate what everyone does, I'm a little appalled that you put out cash and you're getting reimbursed and none of you knew about it, and the check is just given. Christmas decorations are spent and you go, I'll give you a receipt, and you go, I don't need it. Why not? This is our money. And you're sitting here and I'm looking at you and you guys don't know what's going on. You're talking about payroll and this, and I'm sitting here going, what's going on? How come no one knows what's going on with each other? And why don't we have to provide invoices when we're giving out cash?
Someone's paying cash and you're writing checks. And
we don't have any type of follow-through. So I'm sitting here a little, and it may only be $1,000, but that stuff starts adding up. And what else is it happening to? So I'm kind of appalled to hear this, just sitting here. So I hope we do a better job of tracking our money, where it's going, and getting approval first, not after. So, thank you.
Thanks, Julie. And those were well thought out. Next up.
Good evening. Dan Eschman. I live at 616 Mill Street. Previous council member of 12 years. My concern is a couple. First of all, I want to thank the trustees who approved my variance. One of them. That's not why I'm here, though.
No, I wouldn't imagine.
So I am seeing a growing disconnect between our township and the village. We used to have very, very well, I would say, coordination between the township and the village. For some reason, there's a gap that's widening, and it's obvious, all right? It's not a comforting feeling to know that we live in a township, pay township taxes, and the township is after our village, all right? So to me, something needs to be done, all right? And I do believe it's not two members of the businesses in town that should be driving change. Change is good, but I got to tell you, where it's headed right now and where it's coming from is not good. All right. Second to that, you know, I have seen the speed signs. They do work. There's always going to be someone that speeds. You know, as a ex-law enforcement or career or retired law enforcement, there's going to be people that. But for the most part, when you're just lackadaisically driving, you're saying, "Oh shoot, yeah, I'm doing 30. I'm going to slow down." So they do work. All right, they do work, but they're not going to work for the habitual speeder, right? So I get that, all right? So those are my comments, but I am very, very concerned about what's happening between the township and the village. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ashman. Thank you. Oh. Yes, sir.
Hello, Blake Evanson, village resident, business owner in town. Just kind of wondering, I know there's a few other meetings ago that I was not at regarding some parking spots in town, and there's supposed to be a resolution on that. I have sent emails over and over. I've had personal meetings. Not one response has come back. Yes, we're looking into it, what we're doing. So to echo, you guys are gentlemen. You guys take it, you read it, you don't do anything about it. You have a handicap spot in front of a residence for no apparent reason. There's not one on the main street in front of any of the businesses. And that resident's mine. There's a car parked in it right now. Guarantee doesn't have a handicap sticker on it. And one of your leaders tries to get everything car towed and calling villages and having a big thing about it. And a small town is a problem. And it hasn't been addressed for months.
Blake, did you get his name, Caitlin? Okay.
Yes, sir.
My name's Eric Berman.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch your
Eric Berman, B-U-R-M-A-N. Been a township resident since 1974 and a village resident for about the last 5 years. I live on Francis Lane, which is due south of the DPW, and I'd like to get advice from the board on how to go about getting, I don't know the full history of it, I've gotten some anecdotal history on how my street became a private street. I bought the house not knowing that it was a private street, and the issue that we're having is we don't have a four-wheel drive, we don't even have a power snow removal equipment, and there's nobody on the street willing or able to remove the snow so we can get in and out of our residences. In addition, I've heard that there's been some money approved for improving the conditions of the roads. Our road condition is terrible. There's a woman on my street that has paid out of her pocket to have it resurfaced several times with aggregate, and it's helped. But my issue is I'd like to find out about getting it returned back to the village as far as being a village road, because right now it's considered a private road. And from what I understand, the person who owned the home at the very end of the dead-end street petitioned to have it changed to a private road. Well, he had a plow truck, and he no longer owns the home, and the person who owns that home now doesn't have a plow truck.
How many houses are on that street?
There's 3 houses and there's an apartment building.
Got it. The apartment building you come to first, right? That's the...
No, that's the second. That's right after my house.
Okay.
So there's one house, Jan's house, on the right along the riverside. There's my house, the apartments, and then the private residence at the very end. So there's 3 private residences and then a multi-dwelling complex. So I just would like to find out, it doesn't have to be tonight, but if I could get information on how I start the process of trying to get that reversed, not only for the snow removal part, because I think it would be very easy for the village to handle that for us, but also maybe the condition of the road. And oftentimes we get plowed in. Ted, the guy who built my house, it's Jam's brother, he comes down there and we dig it out, and it takes us 2-3 hours when the snow's real high, just to get the, embankment of snow, and it's not their fault, they're just plowing, but they're not pulling out what they've put in our way, kind of like when you have just a driveway. So, but this is multiple people we're talking about, so if I could get some...
You'd like some assistance from the village in maintaining your road, be it private or public, is that?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, my understanding is I would have to get it changed to be considered a village road and reversed, because right now it's considered a private road. That's why they don't touch it. So if I could help with that, I appreciate it.
Hey, we appreciate that. Thank you very much, Eric. I'm going to look around and...
Okay.
Yo, you're next.
Hi. Glennis Hubbard, Crescent Hill. All right, so regarding this petition that's going around, my understanding is that the council was going to be discussing it today according to the paper. However, I didn't see anything on the agenda, so might be a moot point, but I'm going to bring it up anyways. There's been a low growl, if you will, over years and years, getting rid of the village, having the township take over the village. Conversation starts, conversation ends, goes back as far, I don't know, Ron Lapp and Kathy Thurman and Linda Dula-Olin. Everyone said that it was a very difficult thing to do, and they cited Clarkston being the village, and now that they're a city because they couldn't incorporate into the township, and there was too much, and of course we would lose the DPW. All of us living in the village, none of us want to see the DPW go away, for sure. But there was lots of issues. So this petition's going around, and there were some things said in the paper, the quotes, such as, funding things like the DPW. Well, then what are the other things that are like the DPW? Special assessment districts. Well, that would be the village. Levy of 2 mills. How do you know that it's a levy of 2 mills when you don't know what's going to be incorporated into the village, and you guys can, or somebody can already assume what the cost factor is going to be to each of the homeowners. So I look at if there were issues in the past with not being able to incorporate the village into the township, then how do we know that we are going to be able to keep the DPW? What is it going to look like? So what I would hope to see is that there's meetings, not just a petition that says, oh, these are the things that maybe we're going to do, that maybe this is what the mills are going to look like, or maybe we can keep the DPW. I want to know, before I sign the petition, what we're really going to get out of it. So have meetings. Kind of like what we did with the sewers before. We had lots and lots of meetings, and then we had a vote. But you guys are asking for a vote, and then you're asking us to read what's inside that vote. And it just seems to be a little backwards. So I think that we should really have some meetings. I think there should be some things that are spelled out. I think the questions should be asked and answered, and then we can decide if incorporating into the village something that works. Because I'm very curious about this whole special assessment district. Because if the Kratz are being quoted in the paper, we know that they want to have sewers come through. I was in the past, I was against the sewers. I'm not against sewers per se. I was against the way the sewers were going in the last time. So if we move from the village into the township, are we going to have a special assessment, and that means the village, and now we're all paying $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 for sewers because we're in the special assessment, and you guys can just come right out and do it. So there's just a lot of questions, again, that just need to be answered before we sign petitions or take votes or put it to the vote of the people, and let's not do it backwards, because it just seems like when you're doing it backwards, it's a screen for a lot of secrecy, and
Glennis,
No
thank you
more
so much
secrecy.
for that, because a couple comments that I can make is, this was not on our agenda tonight, because honestly, this board didn't even know about it until a couple of days ago, and we heard about it through the grapevine. This is nothing that was promoted or served onto the village saying, hey, there's a group of people that are interested in this. So we're as much in the dark about this, whatever the petition is and what it says, or what language is. Well, we just don't know. How do I know? No, who said it was going to be on the agenda? Okay, well, then talk to the newspaper, but it was never on our agenda, ever. Ever was it on our agenda tonight to discuss the village.
That's fine, but I'm just saying it just shows the
The
newspaper
was
to address it.
Okay, well, thank you. And Glennis, again, I appreciate the comments and spot on.
Yeah, and our agendas are always posted on our village website, so if you have any question about what is going to be on the agenda, just look on the village website and the information is there.
Will be added to the next agenda?
Again,
When are we going to address this?
Again, we've only known about this for 3 days. I don't know.
Yeah, but Linda, with all due respect, I heard about it through neighbors and friends before I read it in the newspaper. You guys also had to have heard about it from neighbors and friends. So what are your intentions with moving forward with this if it's put to you guys?
I've asked for a town hall for the township and the village.
Yeah.
I screamed at the top of the lungs on social media, and I would like to have that. I think we all need to
We all
talk.
would.
I think you absolutely are right. We all need to have a conversation about this.
So then, when you guys talk amongst yourselves, because if you've heard about it, I mean, you guys, you're not an island to yourself sitting there behind your placard. You've talked to everybody else. How does the board feel about it?
Glennis, first of all, we can't, there's things we're limited on what we can talk about amongst ourselves because of Open Meetings Act requirements and stuff. We can't discuss village topics that will come before the board amongst ourselves prior to, outside of an open meeting. And, that's one thing I'd like to say.
Well, you can unless there's a quorum.
Well, this is one thing I would like to say. Yeah, but if
You
Alex
can.
talks to me,
Thanks.
and then I talk to Kay, and then Kay talks to somebody else, suddenly we've hit a quorum and we're violating OMA. So we have to be careful how we discuss things like that.
No, quorum's when you're all together in the same room talking about it.
That's not true.
That's not true.
If we're emailing together and it's on the same thread, that is a violation of the Open Meeting Act.
I could see that would be true,
Okay.
emailing, but I'm
that's
talking
what we
about
can't
just
do.
general
We cannot email
conversation.
each other back and forth.
Just general conversation. Where are we moving forward with this? Is this board, can I be assured that they are looking to have an open conversation?
What I would like to emphasize right here is, from my position, a lot of stuff, as I was only just recently became aware, I don't go on social media that much, but I did go on when I was told, hey, there's this petition going around, you should see what's being said. I looked. And what I can say is that all of these things that I'm seeing on social media, all of this stuff that's going on, I'm really so happy to see everybody here tonight sharing these, because what's hardest for us as a council is trying to know what the people want us to do when people don't come to our meetings. If people are only like posting on social, we rely on people to come and give us direct feedback on what they want us to do.
Okay, but you have to remember just a few years ago when you sat on the council, Larry, and we did have a vote, and it was a massive turnout against putting those particular sewers in. So what has changed? Because the same people who were interested in doing the sewers then are interested in doing the sewers still. So you were there, you were sitting on the board when all that happened.
But then I don't want to go on to down the sewer topic right now, because that would be a long discussion. I was just expressing that the best way for the community to share input to the village is to show up at our meetings and give us the feedback like you're doing tonight, and I really appreciate it. I just want to say that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Can I say something about taxes?
No, you can come on up here and speak if you want to.
do that.
You don't want to do that? Please do.
We're friendly to a degree.
So I'm Allie Reese. Everyone pretty much knows me in this room. I lost my voice-ish, so bear with me. I'm also a real estate agent. I live in the village. I live and love in my house. I love this little town. I've invested myself into the DDA, into selling houses here, all of the above. But what I will tell you about this little town and this township is the taxes are astronomical. And it's hard for me to even sell houses here. So I'm going to give you a prime example. I'm just going to use one. I sold that house on Church Street last year. Mama Sue's. Everyone knew Mama Sue. And my investor picked it up and sold it. These people bought it for $350,000. And at 100% homestead, they were paying $8,900 a year between village, township, and the new whatever. That is unrealistic. And I am sorry. It's true.
Don't be sorry.
I'm not sorry.
Well, we don't set the taxes, you understand?
I know, but what I'm saying is, if we were to dissolve the village, that would save thousands of dollars a year per household, which is astronomical to certain peoples, especially certain peoples who have limited incomes. Am I wrong?
Do you think they're going to give you a check back? Do you think the township is going to give you a check?
I don't really care.
Well, no, that you say you want the money
But
back.
Allison, you got to direct your questions to the
But
board.
what I'm saying
Please.
is, if it cost me less a year, I would be a happy camper. In general. I don't, not thinking they're going to give me a check back for what I paid, but in reality, going forward, if it were to save monies, yes. And then I could do more for other things. I could pay more for other things. Am I wrong? All of us.
Well, that's a
I
topic.
didn't even want to be up here right now.
Everybody in this room who pays taxes is
And you said
much
it yourself
aware.
in the meeting the other day. You said specifically, I could potentially save around $3,000.
Oh, I'm a village
year
resident and I pay taxes.
as a
I can
village.
I can
But
save
I will
$3,000.
fight this because I'm the village president. That is not cool. I love you as a person. To me, that's not cool.
To what?
To fight for the village, is that what you're saying?
That is our job, is to fight for the village.
I understand that.
And the village.
But as a person,
Okay.
as a
Well,
resident, as a whatever.
Thank you, and I'm just going to reiterate what you're mentioning, and it says I wear two hats. I'm a village resident, and I'm also the village president. So my viewpoint can be different based on which particular voice I'm speaking with. As a resident, I could save $3,000 in taxes. I own 3 houses and a business, so I pay a boatload in taxes. Now that's me as a homeowner. Me as the village president, I would do everything in my power, and I will, to save this village. I will do everything to save this village, regardless of what I'll save in tax money on a personal level.
What we're talking about right now is not, it is dissolving the village, but it's also encompassing the DDA, the DPW, the everything.
Another issue
Am I
altogether,
wrong?
and
So we're not taking that away.
how about over here? I'm sorry.
I'm Darcy Butzer. I live at 193 Mill Street. Alex, this goes to you. You mentioned a town hall meeting. I am 100% in support of that. I know a lot of people that have a million questions.
There's nothing concrete in this petition that
I'm completely uncomfortable with it, even though I can't say I don't support dissolving the village. I don't like the way this is getting done. It seems very sneaky, very backdoor. I don't like anything about it, and I just would like a whole lot of questions answered. That being said, how do you go about this town hall meeting? Could the council pull this together? Do you initiate this? How does this work? If the people want to get together and ask questions and pursue, I mean, we know nothing. We can't even comment on anything other than just feeling like, what? I mean, we just don't.
But
No, that's the greatest point you could make, and it's going to require community leaders to get together and make it happen, because it does need to happen.
Is that you guys? When you say
But please keep in mind, I just found out about this a couple days
village
ago.
part. We can't make the township do anything.
No, I'm not talking about the township. I want to talk with the village people because we're the ones that are going to be making the,
I can call a township for the village.
okay, that's what I want to know.
Yeah, what I can't do is have, sorry, town hall, sorry. What I can't do is compel the township to do that. I'm only a resident of the township, just like everybody else. And so if we all compel the township to have town hall, then we can have town hall together. 'Cause
Do we have to have it with the township or can we do it with the village?
We can do both.
Let's do that. Let's start with the village and then welcome the township in to explain.
Whether or not they'll even come.
But if they don't, then that would be their loss because they will not get that vote then. Because we want to know if they can't answer questions, why on earth would we vote for it? So my point to you is I live just down the street from you. So whatever help you need to get the ball rolling on this, please let us know. And I'm telling you what, you're going to have a house full. There's a lot of people that have a lot of questions. Okay? All right, so can we leave it right here and somehow, some way it gets initiated here?
Sounded to me like that's going to happen.
Okay.
Darcy, I just want one of the things that when, like when Glennis was speaking earlier as well, you know, one of the things we're saying, what we found out about this, basically, I checked my phone before I went to bed the other night, and I was like, what? And there's misinformation, and I think that I was saying too, we have to be careful about speaking about anything until we have time to go through and get facts, and that's why when people are bringing us questions, to me, that's the time to say, oh, I'm going to look into that. And that's what I think, that we have to be careful what we say until we can factually know what we're talking
And I'm
about.
not asking you guys for questions on any of this. How could you have answers for them? I mean, we don't even know what to ask right now, you know, so I'm not pressing the council for answers on that. I'm pressing the council to gather us together as a village so we can ask questions. And so I appreciate what you're saying. I mean, how could you have pulled anything together? I mean, there's so much missing information, so I don't expect that of you. But I am very much looking forward to, like I said, whatever we can do to help pull that town hall together.
Yep, more to follow, for sure. I'm sorry, over here.
I'm done, my paper's done.
Ashley Mold. Hi.
Ashley Mold.
I know. Familiar. I'm kind of probably the minority for a village person. I, at one point, wanted the village to dissolve because I, again, thought great taxes, yes, because I'm one of those people that just bought and I have humongous taxes. However, looking at the petition and how it's written, saving the DPW, saving the DDA, that costs money. If we're going to save that, they're likely going to raise the taxes up. So then the Brandon Township taxes are just going to go back up. So we're probably going to be right back where we're at. So why not have the separation, save the village, keep it together. We have the DDA, which is doing amazing. We have the DPW, which again, also doing an amazing job, and I would hate to lose that because I love getting out of my driveway. Sorry. I actually saw you guys this morning trying to leave and saw you flooring it, so I feel you. But yeah, that's my point of view anyway from a village resident, is I'm a little hesitant about it, and I can't wait for the town hall meeting because more questions to what it's portrayed very nicely, but it's very secretive and it feels very sketchy, I guess, in a sense where it's just I have way more questions which I know you guys can't answer, and yeah, that's just my point of view. I think the taxes are just going to probably stay, and it's going to be.
Thank you, Ashley.
Thanks much. All right, this will be the actual last call. Hey, last call. Oh, here we go.
I can see him getting ready.
Mark Robinson, 132 Mill Street. I just have a question. Is this the appropriate time, now that you're all aware, that you would put together a subcommittee to be able to put this, orchestrate everything to come together, and so it doesn't go another month or two before somebody's still wondering and asking questions, what happened? You know what I mean? So is this a time that you guys could appoint a committee?
That's certainly the direction we would have been heading anyway, but absolutely, that's how the council gets things done, is we break off into committees, because not all of us have every day and every minute to to dedicate to this job. We're all just volunteers.
I spent 4 years on this council, I understand.
Yeah, we do most of our work by committees, and that's a perfect opportunity for us to get a committee that would look into this, and then they report back to us, and then it's not a violation.
I understand, I'm just saying, I hear a lot of frustration. People have said that they brought things to council and they feel like they're not getting anywhere, so.
True enough.
I'm just trying to address it right forward right now to where we can get something in motion.
It's a very fair criticism,
Yes.
believe me.
Yep, very good.
Speaking of criticism, that was fair criticism, by the way. If there's any fair or unfair, we can hear that now too. And there isn't any. That takes us past public comments and 2 items from trustees. I'm going to start down with Kay Green, if you don't mind.
Alex and I met with Terry Stiles from Oxford Cable, and Alex has drawn up the proposals with his recommendation. I'm sure there'll be some discussion on it, but that's coming up next. And then we've had a couple of personnel issues, meetings that we've had to work on a few personnel issues. And basically, that's it. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Linda Brooks.
Yes, I've been working on improvements to Crossman Park. You can see on the expenditures, the piece of equipment we bought late summers, was just delivered late fall, and we just paid for it. And I hopefully we'll be meeting with a preservation architect to give us a nice rendering of what Crossman Park could look like. I'm also working with Stephanie Olasky from the DDA and trying to find monies for different pieces of equipment and move forward to making that park something that is safe, that young kids can enjoy. And that's what I've been working on.
Very honorable and practical. Larry.
Okay. In terms of committees, I haven't been doing too much lately. It's been a crazy holiday season. But I would like to respond back to some of the comments that we heard during public. I do appreciate everybody coming and giving us this feedback. For me, this is valuable to be able to have residents come here. That's how I know that people really do care about our community and really feel about what you're saying. About the speed signs, I've thought about that before, about how do we get traffic slowed down in the village. I've been doing that since I was first on board in the 90s when we came up with the idea of putting the Watch for Children signs, maybe a way to slow traffic down. More recently, during the Planning Commission years, I was looking at how do we do traffic calming, and some of the things that came up would be something like, what could we do, like maybe a stop sign or crosswalk at some of the key intersections like James and Mill or Church and Ball, something like that, just to give something to slow down the traffic midway down those streets. So those are some of the things that we could also consider beyond just the electronic signs. So those are, we are thinking about these traffic calming things. It is an important topic. It's just a matter of finding what's the best way to accomplish that and the best use of our money. Disbursements of tracking the money, I know Julie asked about that. They're my neighbors, by the way, in part. And that's exactly why I was asking some of the questions I did, because we get these reports, and that's where we try to get clarification on exactly what's the money going to. So I do feel with you, we do need to be responsible about money, and I try to do that by reviewing those. And when I have questions, I try to bring them up and ask about them. Dan, a lot of these topics are about the concerns that we have concerns about the village and township relationship. And I think that it sounds like much of the comments revolve around that and this petition that's been going on. And I will say I'm looking forward to doing the town hall. Personally, I have been trying on the council to push for the village council and the township board to try to set up a meeting so we could review and go over some of these issues and points of contention between us. But unfortunately, that has not been able to get any traction. And I'm really disappointed that we haven't been able to get something together with our two boards. Maybe if we start with our own town hall first, we can get the attention Township 2 and get them drawn into so we can try to work out these issues and start getting back to a collaborative relationship, because we really need that. And just in general about the dissolving the village, I know it sounds good to lower your taxes, but to be honest, I think my taxes are about, township side are about 5 times more than what my taxes are on the village side when I got it off. Based upon what I get for my annual tax savings. It's about 3,000, well, 4 to 5 times more, something like that. So I pay more in township taxes. Dropping the village taxes would save some money, but I don't know if they would, you know, how much it would really save if they set up a special assessment district to charge for the services. The biggest concern I have about that is loss of local control. I can tell you in the past we're talking about sewers. I've been on the council on and off for many years. Sewers has been a topic since decades. And we've had some plans moving forward, but when it came down to it, when we were trying to partner with the township being much larger than we are, anytime that it came to some kind of a collaborative approach towards sewers, unfortunately, the township to be involved ended up with proposals where they essentially would take full control and the village would not have any say really on what would happen. And that would be my concern if we did merge with the township, is that we lose our local control, we lose our say, and it's up to the township to decide what is good for the village. That would be my biggest concern with dissolving the village. And that's it for my comments.
Well, this month I've been working on a proposal with Kay here about putting together for our cable gas fees. I've also been kind of dealing with the fallout of our lights that we've been handling on, kind of just using some of my electrician friends to get some answers on things like that. That's been spending most of my most recent time. I would echo that. I agree with you that we do need to have definitely a good plan on how we have a say on how our village goes to the future. I would say also, if you guys have issues with problems like the private road want to become not private anymore, let me help you. Let me help dive into it with you as well. Give me any information we can on who was the owner of the previous property. Let's just go about it that way. And if you guys do have issues, reach out to one of us individually. We would all love to help. We all have initiatives that we all care about and things like that. So that's all I have.
Thanks. Thanks very much. And by the way, thank you for, hold on, just thank you though for your help on those 2 recent issues that have been facing us. Because you have been busy this past month on village business, more so than other months. So it's appreciated and it's noticed. So thanks, Alex, for that. On to unfinished business. Village meeting broadcast agreement, and I think I'm going to go back with you on this, Alex. Or,
Yes, you are.
Okay.
So a couple months ago, we decided to no longer go with OTV. However, I did leave it open for them to always come back and offer us a deal and a contract. I would love to keep it local. However, that didn't seem possible. So I have submitted here 3 different options for us. Option 1 is we fill it ourselves. We buy our own equipment. We set our own YouTube page up. We save that money. We put it towards a grant and a scholarship towards young people here in town and in the township to keep a nice open hand to the township. Scenario 2 is with Oxford Television, who we've also met this evening. We've had good conversations with her, and she has offered us a contract in a budget that is well within our means and leaves us money left over to do some other things that we would like to do, such as create grants, create a scholarship for creative arts and things like that. And scenario 3 is probably the most expensive route. It's pretty much about the same thing that we were doing kind of before. It's a non-profit out of Flint. The only thing I can say that it being more expensive is it's going to be higher quality content, but it is limited on what we can do, and it's not really something that I look forward to most. And if you always ask me, my scenario and what I would pick and call for scenario 1. We do it ourselves, we save the money, and we invest it back to our young people.
Great
We need a
synopsis.
I'll make a motion that we accept scenario 1 of the cable franchise agreement.
Support.
Discussion.
Further discussion, if there is any.
I have
Uh,
something.
You do?
I do.
Okay.
While I know it would keep it more local in Oxford, that entails that Alex has to be here every meeting and/or some of us have to learn how to operate the equipment. And, you know, we're all here for a certain time and you don't know if you're gonna be here next time or not. So, you know, all that knowledge could go by the wayside. And to keep continuity, I think I'm more leaning towards number 2 with going with Oxford. They have the total setup, they can come in, they're willing to do a lot of things that, that we wanted to have done, that we thought was important, Alex and I. And also, we would still be able to use the money to help kids get into this program, which I think is just, you know, a wonderful idea. But that's my 2 cents worth.
I have a question about when you went and met with her, it says 3 meetings a month, the village, the DDA, and the planning commission. Currently, when we were with OTV, we only had 1 meeting. The DDA and the planning commission, as far as I know, do not have their meetings recorded. I was just kind of curious why that was included.
Yeah, that was the initial discussion that we had with Oxford, and I've had some further discussion with Melanie and some other people, and we would, so that the zoning meeting probably didn't need to get filmed, and we could take those 12 meetings and put those towards events, such as filming all the market and things like that. So
In other words, we'll have some flexibility.
We have some flexibility.
That to me is important.
That's right, and that contract that we have signed is not finalized at all with Oxford at all, and we can still, it's whether or not we want to go with them, that's kind of what we're deciding here. And if we do, we can definitely finalize that contract, and they're absolutely willing to work with us.
Yeah, for myself, I would have concerns just like, hey, about the staffing for the meetings if Alex wasn't here, and knowing how we've had certain issues with trying to keep positions staffed. That's my big concern is our resources in terms of staffing to be able to support it as a fully do-it-yourself option. So I would feel more comfortable starting out with scenario 2 and contract in somebody to do it, and then we don't have to worry about it, just let them take care of it. And then see where that goes, and down the road, maybe if we get our staffing situation settled in the office and all that down the road, and things are going good, maybe we can consider switching over to scenario 1 at some point. So that would
It's always an
my
option.
recommendation.
I mean,
We'd
either
start
or.
with scenario 2 until we really feel comfortable moving to scenario 1.
The only question I have, and I don't remember, what was the did she request a certain length of the contract? 'Cause-
We were open to discuss that as well, from 1 year to 3 years.
Okay, because then I would recommend that we don't get anything multi-year. And I'm kind of the reverse of you, Larry. I thought we try it ourselves for a while, see how it goes. If we find out we're running into problems, maybe we can then contract outside.
And I'm of the opinion that it doesn't matter which one we pick tonight, we always have our options open to reevaluate in 2 or 3 months or 6 months and go to number 2 or number 3. But I'm in favor of option 1 to start with, because if that works, that's where we're going to save a lot of money.
If that's all we're going to do, is film the meetings, but if we want to do like Septemberfest or Halloween or, any of the events, the farmers markets and things like that, yeah, Alex can do it, but.
What our scenario 1 would offer us is that we have the funds left over to then hire
people
out somebody
to
to
do
do
it.
that special event. And we can probably get it created in a better way than what OT was probably doing.
And still save money.
And still
Yeah,
save money.
save a lot of money.
Okay, is there further discussion? Because there was a motion to accept scenario 1, and that was supported by me, so we should vote on that. And we'll do it via roll call.
One thing first.
Brooks,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Hayden,
No.
Faulkner,
Yes.
Quisenberry.
Yes. Okay, motion carries. We're going with option one.
We're in business.
And we can revisit this anytime
Yep.
that we choose to. So it's not etched in granite. Okay, that was broadcast agreement. On to new business is the budget planning calendar for 2026. Matt, what do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so in the budget planning cycle last year, we kind of got crunched at the end because we had so much going on in March and April. So I just wanted to get on your radars now. My intention is that at the next meeting, I will have a mid-year budget review and probably a recommended budget amendment based on how expenses are going. Just a quick refresher. We're not allowed to expend more than was approved in the department. And for instance, December was one of the colder Decembers we've had in a long time. We've had to buy a lot more snow and pay a lot more snowplow hours than expected.
Snow?
So that's
You
probably
bought snow?
buy more snow. Yeah, it seems like we might have bought snow. But there's probably going to be necessary adjustments because that reality is a little different than we expected. So I would anticipate in February presenting a budget amendment, and then in March would be a budget workshop. Early May would be a public hearing on the budget. Late May would be our village council meeting where ideally we would be approving the budget for the next fiscal year, giving me still 30 plus days to get it implemented. So I just wanted to kind of put that on everyone's calendar. I don't know that you necessarily want to pick dates right now. That would certainly be helpful to me if you did, but I'll probably just circulate an email about our first budget workshop in early March.
Yeah, let's do that. I don't think anybody's in a position to pick dates at the moment. At least I know I'm not. So we can circle back around on
Just
on the
important
dates.
that 'tis the season.
Right. It is the time of year for sure. On to item B. Recent application for marijuana dispensary. I think that's what I picked up from you the other day.
And
So-
we do have we have copies both of the application, which has been received, and the updated building plan. The relevant folks at the planning commission have taken a look at it. I'm getting their initial thoughts as to the more detailed building plan. But I thought, obviously this is the time to distribute to you. So I have some copies over here if anyone would like to take one and to look it over. Obviously, we're not going to be considering it tonight, but to get it on your radar that it's here. I do have it digitally as well, so I just want to get that in your hands tonight.
I thought you were going to send that to the attorney, Matt. We need that looked at by our attorney.
Are you talking about the ordinance? This
Yes,
is an application to open a business.
You mean the ordinance?
The ordinance itself.
Yeah.
We need that before we start doing all this other stuff. I mean, we're going to need it.
Right. That's a separate issue that I don't know that I can give you an update on where we're at on signing a new agreement with an attorney who's going to be looking it over, but I'm awaiting that signature. But this is separate from the ordinance.
Are there any currently valid licenses issued at this time?
No.
Okay, so
There's
previously issued licenses have all expired.
Yes, there were never any licenses issued, just to be perfectly clear. There were conditional or provisional licenses, but the conditions of the provisional licenses were never met. So we have never actually issued a marijuana dispensary license. According to the current ordinance, which we're still operating under, there are some available. We have received an application, so it's my duty to pass the
So
application.
this is right now the only active request for a...
It is. It's the only application we've gotten, yes.
Okay.
The process there is just, like I said, vetting it first through planning commission to see if there are major stumbling blocks to the building plan, and then presenting it to council. And so it will be on an agenda someday upcoming, I'm sure.
And if I recall, we did look through the marijuana ordinance last, would that have been November's meeting? I know we looked through it and that we did agree that one dispensary was plenty for our area. And is this the old Montessori building on M15, just to be clear?
I believe it to be, yes. Yeah. I wasn't here when it was a Montessori building, but yeah, that's what everyone says. So
it's
yes,
right next to the
258.
Hamiltons.
Correct.
Yeah.
Between
Stuff.
Hamilton's
Okay.
and there's an oil change place.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify exactly what this property was. That was my understanding. Okay.
Okay, that was informational only. I'm assuming item C is the 2025 financial audit. Every year, the village has to have our bank accounts audited, and they present us with a report indicating, deposits and expenditures and basically budgetary practices that are commonly accepted in municipalities, and we had one of those performed on the village, which we do every single year, and this one occurred, I think, in September, October, right around there. And the auditor sent us some suggestions on corrective measures. They also sent us their final report on our audit. So we, as a matter of regular business, we accept the audit, and then we make any changes based on what the auditors are recommending we do. And I did see a couple in there that I would recommend that we do, but that's up to us to implement them from here forward.
Can we make a motion tonight about that debit card policy? Because I would love to see that. That way, that wouldn't occur.
Well, I prefer to make that a separate motion. If you want to change the policy, that's great. I mean, I don't oppose it.
Being as we're talking about it, because
Yeah.
that would prevent, from somebody handing out their own money and then wanting us to pay them.
True enough. I'm
right.
again, all for it, but I think accepting the audit is one thing, and then
I just
tampering
wanted-
down on our credit card policies is another one altogether,
I
and they're
just
both
want to
good
make sure, being
ideas.
as it's on here, I could make that motion after
Oh,
we
yeah,
accept it.
yeah, it's part of the audit, so you can certainly make that correction, but we would have to approve the audit at some point.
Okay, I make a motion, we approve the audit as presented. Support.
Okay, moved and supported for the audit. Is there further discussion? If not, I'll do a roll call vote on the audit.
I guess the one question is what she brought up is whatever kind of debit card policy that we are going to create. I think that's the next step, is we just need to talk about what that next step is and what policy we're going to put in. Because I asked my wife, like, what policy do you have at work? And she goes, as long as the name's associated to the debit card. So there's all kinds of ways.
There are.
Right.
You're right.
There
There's
are.
a lot of variations there, and we need to pick one that
I can
suits.
provide some clarity so you're not spinning your wheels thinking. We have a credit card policy, which is the same thing. It just doesn't have the word debit in it. And now we
okay.
have debit cards. So ostensibly, they're concerned that those aren't covered under that policy. So we just need to add the word debit to our
Well,
card
okay,
policy.
but that'll be.
We'll look at the whole thing. While we're looking, we might as well look at the whole thing.
That's really then not associated with our audit that we're approving right now.
Yeah.
Well, I just have one comment. I did note it that the audit noted that when reviewing council minutes of committees and subcommittees are not always prepared. And I feel that that's something that should not be the case, because that actually is in our rules of procedure, that all official committee meetings are supposed to have meeting minutes. It seems we have somehow gotten away from that, but we need to, I agree with the auditors that we need to get back, and any official committee meetings should have official meeting minutes to them.
I do believe that was supposed to be in those things, that's a
That's in our
necessity
rules
to
of
get
procedure,
paid.
yeah.
Like if we
It
were going to be
is.
paid for those meetings, we would have to have
They have
official
to do that.
minutes.
Yes, we have
And I
to
think
do that.
that's the problem with us not getting paid. We just fail to take that step. But you're
They're
right.
also
That
a record of-
I know. I agree with you 100%, Larry. I'm just saying I think that's where it slid, is that we're like, oh, well, we're fine. We're not. But yeah, you're right, Larry. We should have those minutes. But I do believe that's why it's slid.
Okay, back to the roll call.
Faulkner,
Yes.
Hayden,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Quisenberry.
Yes. That takes care of the audit for this year. Takes us down to manager report, mid-year budget review amendment proposal. I believe this is kind of what you mentioned earlier, right?
Yeah, I just spoke about that, so there's not much on the manager's report, just that's kind of where all the focus is right now. The financial stuff, not only in the budgeting process for the next year, but also the few items will follow up from the audit. Some of those items from the Treasurers Conference I went to last week, the one-day deal there. Some just ideas for best practice policies to have. My thought was maybe having one more meeting of that, the financial subcommittee to go over those, to make recommendations on those, and then to bring them to council so that we can get kind of a clean book of financial policies updated altogether. Conference schedule for the spring. I didn't realize this was typed out for you here, but I was just wanting you to be aware that I have spoken with Matt Jenkins about the DDA conference. It doesn't seem like at this time that I'll be going. I don't intend on going this year. It would be great if any of you wanted to go. It is great to have council involvement. It's in Tulsa, which is not the reason I'm not going, but I just don't. I've got almost nothing on the calendar before June. My regular vacation, the kids' spring break, which is always the last week of March. I think it's the week of Easter, week leading up to Easter, would be my regular vacation with the family. But other than these couple of days at the MMTA Institute, I don't have any. We have CapCon, which is a MML one-day in Lansing Capital Convention. Updates mostly on legislative stuff. Different bills are being introduced. One of them that we discussed at the Municipal Executives Conference was that there are apparently some changes happening to what's called the CVTRS, I think, distribution, which is a sales tax distribution that comes from the state. We're told at the beginning of the year what our amounts are going to be so that we can put it in our budget and expect it, but the word at this convention this week was that the commitments we were given for the remainder of this fiscal year are up in the air to the point that we may get nothing. This may just, people having fear and calling chicken little, I don't know. But they said don't count on those. Unfortunately, our budget does count on them heavily, obviously because we're so small. We have very limited resource pools, so that's one of them that if that, has any fluctuation in the next few months, I'm going to have to be updating you as to how that impacts us as far as cash flow goes and whatnot, because those are dollars we definitely depend on. The last thing, the staffing update, I think we're in a position where we're ready to hire a admin assistant who will take on some of the clerk duties. I'm also intending to promote Sue to deputy treasurer, so those kind of roles will be covered. I have a final conversation I need to have with the personnel committee about the option of candidates. We have 3 candidates still in the pool. We've really vetted them out well, and my goal would be that they'd be starting in the next week or 2 as soon as they're available, once we make the final decision on who it's going to be.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. That was the manager's report, and that turned out to be the 13th item on our agenda. Item 14 is the most important.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
Those in favor? Aye. This meeting is
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you so
now
much for
appreciate
officially
it.
over.